So today we're doing the shortstop. That's the move, and here is a slow-mo. All right, so to get right into this move, you're going to start off by holding the bite handle in just a normal standard grip, right? So my thumb is grabbing the bite handle about 3/4 of the way up. My four fingers are wrapped around the safe handle, and if I release my four fingers, the safe handle swings out. At this point, to start this move off, we're just going to do a standard half orbit. So that tutorial will be in the description, but I'm going to go over it once here really quickly. So you got the bite handle, you release the safe handle. It flies out. At this point, you're going to pull backwards. The safe handle is going to fly up. It's going to hit your thumb. Right, so it's going to be something like this. And you're going to note it hits my thumb close to the end of my thumb, and that's important. At this point, you're going to release with your four fingers. The knife is going to do a 180-degree rotation, and you're going to catch the safe handle like that. So this is what the half orbit looks like, and the tutorial will be below. So you're going to begin by just doing a half orbit. The next thing to do is to do a half orbit, except you're only going to catch with two fingers. And so when you throw out the half orbit, you're going to tuck in your bottom two fingers here, right? These two fingers are tucked in. And you're going to catch with your middle finger, index finger, and thumb on the safe handle like that, with my bottom two fingers tucked in. So I'll show you what that looks like, something like that. So start off doing regular half orbit, then go to two fingers. The next thing to do is to go to one finger. And so you're going to do the half orbit and you're going to catch, tuck in your bottom two fingers, catch with only your middle finger and your thumb. My index is outwards like that. And so what that'll look like is something like that. The next thing is you're going to do a half orbit. You're going to catch with your middle finger, except instead of using your thumb, you're going to remove your thumb. And you're going to take your ring finger and you're going to extend it outwards, and you're going to catch with your middle finger and your ring finger. So that's why it's important to curl up your bottom two fingers so you can extend and catch. And so what that'll look like, right, is something like this, right? So middle finger, ring finger, wham. And when you do it right, it'll look something like that. So this move, the shortstop, you can be divided into two parts. So that's the first part of this move. So it's just a half orbit, and you're going to catch with your middle finger and your ring finger. The second part of this move starts right from here, right? It's the second part. This move, I'm going to invite you to learn the Murnax Ladder and the half Murnax. They are going to really help with what's to come, and especially if you're having trouble pinching and controlling with these two fingers, because those moves are very involved with those, so check those out. Now, you're going to begin here, right? Holding the safe handle, the blade's pointing away from you. I've got my ring finger and my middle finger around the safe handle like that. At this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do an upwards pull towards my face, right? So kind of like a 45-degree angle. I'm going to pull upwards towards my face. And what that's going to do, it's going to cause the knife to rotate up around my middle finger. Something like that. You can just practice this. And your note, I'm not letting the knife slide up. I'm still pinching right in the same spot that I was before. Another thing to note, actually, that I didn't go over is you want to, when you do this move, you want to grab right around the middle. You can grab higher up as well, but it's important that you don't grab lower down, and I'll get into that in a second. Anyway, so the point is you got it around the middle of the knife here. You do this upwards pull and this catch here. Now, what you're going to do is similar to the Murnax Ladder. When you pull up, right about when the knife gets to a vertical position here, right? So the safe handle used to be pointing downwards, and it comes back around to a vertical position. What I'm going to do, I'm going to extend my ring finger, so basically let go of the knife. I'm going to push forward with my middle finger. And what that's going to do is that push is going to separate the blade from the handle. And so, once again, right, starting here, upwards pull, the knife comes to right above vertical, and release with my ring finger, and I'm going to push forward. At this point, I'm going to take my thumb, right after this push, I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm going to catch the bite handle like that in this closed grip. And so what that'll look like, if you're doing it right, is something like that. So this isn't the hardest thing to do, especially if you already know the Murnax Ladder. When you do the actual move, it'll be a little harder, but I'll go into some tips for that as well. So anyway, so now you got two parts, right? So you've got this half orbit into this middle finger, ring finger catch. You can do that, that's excellent. The second part is from this position going up into a reverse grip. Now, the challenge is to put these both together. I find that each of those moves separately isn't the worst thing, but putting together is actually quite hard because when you catch the half orbit, you don't have a chance to do your perfect pull upwards. The knife's already coming upwards, and you kind of got to work with what you got, and it's usually not the best. Now, one thing to note is when you do this half orbit into this catch with your middle finger and ring finger, you don't want to grab it too low down like I am right here, because what will happen is when you flip up the knife, you're going to catch it somewhere like this, and the knife, you're not going to be able to close it. Something like this, right? So if you're doing that, the problem is that you're grabbing too low down, and you want to grab up a little bit higher. So the middle is where I find it usually best, but you can also do it really high up. It's just it's going to be a little bit weirder. So you can experiment with where you want to grab, but just don't grab too close to the blade. So either here or somewhere in between. Now, so when you put these together, right, looks something like that. If I were you, what I would do, I would just practice the first one, master it, practice the second one, master it, and then just try and put them together. And you're going to have a lot of trouble for a while, but eventually it'll start to click and you'll start to get it. So this move is kind of tricky, but I think you guys can do it. If you can do both those parts, I think you can put it together. It's just going to take quite a bit of practice. So that's the move. Hope you guys like that one. Thanks for watching. Peace.